You don't get a resume more experience than that, at least not hardly in the collegiate game right now.
Yeah, you can put him next to knows how to win in the encyclopedia.
And here is the tip-off. It's going to be the home team, the Orange, who have the first opportunity. That one won't go. Rebound brought in by Jefferson. Right away, Louisville pushing, getting it done in transition is Harris.
Well, and that's where Louisville wants to go. They want to get out in transition. They want to rebound, take 2 dribbles up the court, outlet it, and then score quickly.
Last time these teams met, the Cardinals with a 10-2 edge in fast break points. And they also have a litany of scores so they can spray the ball around out on the break as well. Syracuse coming off a win on Thursday. Getting it done inside is Woolley. 2-2 start here early in quarter number 1. Louisville also coming off of a huge win, taking down ranked Notre Dame. Coach Wall's very happy with his team's performance in that matchup. Ricards rattles home.
Ricards has been such a bright spot for the Cardinals this year at the point guard position. She's also one of their toughest perimeter defenders. Look for her to be matched up on Fair all afternoon.
Ricards averaging just under 6.5 points, more than 3.5 boards per game. Earning her 20th start, the Florida transfer. Rice gets it inside, tough shot. Foul called down low. Push from behind called on the senior forward, Olivia Cochran. It's going to be her first, the team's first. Baseline play here for the Orange, coming off 2 straight wins, most recently taking down Georgia Tech on Thursday. A little bit of a weird energy, though, according to Coach Jack in that matchup. She wanted her team to bring the intensity right away in this game.
Yeah, the Orange only won by 3, 62-59 as Woolley misses from the outside. But there is Wilson. That's what she does, Kylan. She stays on the offensive boards, gets the putback. That is why she's starting the game for the Orange.
This Orange team so good on the offensive glass, 13th in the country, top in the ACC when it comes to bringing in those O-boards. Cochran, step back. And that one rattles home.
And Olivia Cochran, I've had the pleasure of playing against her, watching her grow over her career as a senior, and every year she's just added something to her game.
Foul called there as Wilson was handling that one against Harris. I like that you said the pleasure of playing against her. It doesn't seem like a pleasurable experience, Ice, to go up against Olivia Cochran.
You know, when you're a competitor, you just want to play against you know, some of the best. And Jeff Walls and Olivia Cochran have been together for 4 years. I mean, the way in which she's grown and bloomed underneath him. But yeah, make no mistake about it, she's physical. I mean, getting hit by one of her screens, it'll make you think twice.
And that's why I'm not out there doing this. Cochran comes in averaging nearly 11.5 points, more than 6 boards per game as Fair kicks it out. Baseline shot, foul called. Foul gonna go against Sydney Taylor.
Dyashia Fair just attracts so much attention, kicks it to Woolley, and then Taylor got her on the arm and also didn't let her land. So trying to be a little bit more smarter there, not to foul the jump shooter. And Woolley, that's where she lives, in the mid-range game. It's not the 3, it's not the layup. In the mid-range is where she does her damage.
Woolley, such a critical piece for this Orange team, averaging 33 minutes per game. So she doesn't come off the floor very often. Also gets it done on the defensive end, averaging more than 2 steals per game, which is 4th in the ACC.
Yeah, a lot of the time she's playing up at the top of the press or at the top of their 3-2, and she's long, 6 foot, so she gets a lot of deflections.
Cochran kicking it out. Nice pass inside, the finish from Harris.
Harris does a great job of getting deep positioning. She backs you up, she shows her numbers, and she makes a strong, quick move.
Harris with a huge double-double, 18 points, 14 rebounds, 6 O-boards. The last time these 2 teams met, a takeaway for the Card. Ricards pulls up, rattles home. This Louisville team getting some friendly rolls here in the dome. Fair. Wood had some time, she'll go inside, offline. Cochran with the long pass. Kiki Jefferson, the graduate student guard, James Madison transfer, draws the foul on the dribble. a big piece of this Louisville team, leading the way with more than 13 points per game.
Yeah, Jefferson had a tremendous career at James Madison, wanted to play at a higher level and decided to go with Jeff Walz. And just seeing the way that she's been able to grow as a scorer, as a passer. I mean, Coach Walz just says she wants to get better. She is willing to get coached and to get challenged. Talking about a challenge there as Fair gets in the mix defensively.
Fair, another player who gets it done on both ends. Foul called as she got that deflection and then the takeaway. Jefferson, though, the 2023 Sun Belt Player of the Year, first team selection as well, and the tournament's most outstanding player, and her game has translated here to Louisville.
It's really impressive what Coach Walz is able to do year after year, just bringing in the number of transfers he does and then getting everyone to gel and play Louisville basketball. That's been a constant since he's been there. They defend, they score in the paint, and they run.
Fair with a tough finish.
Beautiful pull-up jump shot. I mean, one thing about watching Dyashia Fair, folks, she does not need a ball screen. She doesn't need any help. She just needs the ball and a little bit of space, which she'll create on her own to score.
That was Louisville's first miss from the floor. Strong shooting start so far as the Card hold the 2-point lead. Foul called on the other end. It's going to be Cardinals basketball. Foul's going to go against Wilson. That's her first. Second team foul called against the Orange. Fair walking off the court, appearing a little bit shaken up here, holding her head or eye area. Dyashia Fair, the leader for the Syracuse team, walking off to the side, being helped off, sitting behind the bench. Not good news for the Orange. We look to her, a top 3 scorer in the ACC, averaging more than 21 points per game as Cochran draws the foul down low.
Fair on the rebound. Got hit a little bit by Latham. That happened in their last game. In their last game, Latham and Wilson were going for a rebound together. Wilson didn't see that it was Latham, and she pulled her down. And then a travel was called, and it was a turnover on the Cuse. Little friendly misfire there.
Jefferson called for the travel.
Got a bit too deep amongst the defense and didn't have a plan.
Checked into the game here is Isabel Verajao for the Syracuse team, playing in just her second game since dealing with an injury. Got hurt on December 4th, but brings a huge veteran presence to the side that Coach Jack is very excited to have back.
Oh, well, and she just extends their depth as well. I mean, inside, in terms of front court players, you already have Alyssa Latham. You have Wilson, who we've talked about, Kyra Wood, and then now you add Verajao, and she's experienced. I mean, grad transfer.
Jump ball there on the floor, scramble. Syracuse once again able to get another O board, but couldn't cash in. It's going to be so important they can take advantage of those, right?
Well, their mindset in going to the O boards is you expect a miss. You expect that every shot that goes up is a miss, so you go with intention to get the offensive rebound, and Louisville knows that. Coach Jeff Walz highlighted it to us. Going to be important that they box out first before they chase rebounds.
Syracuse already with 4 offensive rebounds here in the first quarter. They average about 16.5 per game. Cochran under quite a bit of pressure. Harris gets inside, tough take.
Man, Harris is just so good. Love the way she slices through the lane off the bounce, and then that's Verajao on the other end. A little bit of contact, but finishes the easy 2. I love a post player, Kylan, that runs the floor. It's my favorite thing. Second favorite thing. My first favorite thing is knocking down threes. Second favorite, though, is a post player running the floor.
Great block. Louisville looks to cash in, and they do. Kiki Jefferson knocks down the mid-range.
A little bit of sloppy play in the last couple of minutes. Both teams getting some deflections, some steals. Wanting to clean it up here at the end of the first.
So where do blocks rank in your list of favorite things? Threes, rim runners, blocks maybe somewhere down there?
Yeah, blocks maybe top 5. I just, you know, me at 5'7", I didn't have too many of them.
And there, Verajao trying to get inside, gets called for the travel.
Well, the Orange are running in transition, something they love to do. The steal, though, from the Cardinals. Really good defense. Ricard's on the pull-up. And on the other side, it's Verjao running the floor. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
She's a thief and a con artist.
You're making me blush. I'm a cop.
You're not a cop. You have a badge?
Not yet.
Not ever.
I am now a guardian of the law.
How did you give me that?
Wild Cards. This Monday at 9/8 Central on the CW.
What you need is the information that is important to you and your family.
WCCB News at 10. Just what you need.
Now at Hardee's, 2 hand-breaded chicken tender wraps are only $5. Choose your favorite flavors for endless combinations. 2 wraps, just $5. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Get exclusive offers on the Hardee's app.
We're here to elevate your eye care expectations. Expect to be welcomed. Expect to be heard. Let us take steps to keep your eyes healthy. Feel what it's like to be taken care of, listened to, and understood. When you want to see your absolute best for life, be seen at Eye Care Center. For a limited time, buy 1 pair of eyeglasses and get 50% off the second pair.
Who's this?
Oh, he's my stunt double.
Okay.
The new Multiply the Cash scratch-offs have a win-all doubler, so I could win every single prize doubled.
So...
That's too much excitement for just one man.
Jerry, we won. We won. We won!
Technically, I won.
Multiply the cash with a chance to win every prize doubled.
Hardee's 2 for $5 breakfasts bake goodness into your morning. Choose a biscuit with sausage and egg, gravy, or country fried steak. Any 2, just $5. Enjoy heart-shaped biscuits now through Valentine's Day.
A 4-point ball game here on the Syracuse campus in this top 25 matchup. These two teams going toe-to-toe in quarter number 1. Now, CW Courtside Saturday returns this week with a pivotal doubleheader. First, Syracuse heads to Atlanta to take on giant killer Georgia Tech. Then in primetime, NC State continues its postseason march against tournament hopeful Clemson. CW Courtside Saturday this week at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific, only on the CW. Back here in Syracuse, though, Dyashia Fair went out of the game. Looked like she took a bump to the head, but then they were also bandaging up her elbow. She remains on the bench here with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. The 16th player in NCAA history to eclipse 3,000 career points back in mid-January, and a player the Orange hope returns to this game at some point. 3-ball misses everything there.
Yeah, the Orange came out of that timeout in a 1-3-1 zone. It was going well until Verjao went for that block. I like, though, that Coach Jack is mixing up defenses early, right? You've seen this team 11 days ago. They know what the zone looks like. They know what man looks like. So can you throw different looks out there?
Jefferson now going to the line for 2 and trying to throw off the rhythm that this Cardinals team has. Isn't going to be easy because they've got a litany of scores. It's something Jeff Walls also talked to us about, is feeling like they can get it done by committee. Different players step up on any given night. That has to be more difficult to scout for rather than, hey, this is their one go-to.
For sure. I mean, when you've got to worry about all 5 players on the floor being able to score the basketball, and one thing that this team does so good, they share the ball. You can tell that they want to get a great shot. Everyone has an equal opportunity here, and they bring scoring off the bench as well. Jada Curry, number 30, checked in the game, and a great score last year at Cal, now a transfer for Jeff Walls, and still trying to find her rhythm offensively with the Cardinals.
She's had a couple of big games, though, as that 3 rattles out. She had 19 against Miami, 19 against Clemson, so a player who's starting to get more comfortable producing more similar numbers to what she had over in the Pac-12 as the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year and the first ever freshman to lead the conference in scoring. So something Coach Walls has talked about with a lot of these new players for Louisville is that they bring in high-level experience. So you miss some of that adjustment that comes with trying to adjust to the collegiate game. It's now just learning the system.
I mean, that's the beauty in looking in the transfer portals. You're getting players that have had experience, that have seen what it looks like on the college basketball landscape to win. And, you know, specifically for Curry, man, she is a volume three-point shooter. And so it's been an adjustment for her to not get as many shots here with Louisville as she was doing with Cal, being their main offensive weapon. But nonetheless, still a dangerous player for them offensively. Can get it going at any time.
Curry averaging nearly 9 points per game, coming in off the bench since early on in the season. And this Louisville team, by the way, returning just 4 players from a season ago. Nice pass, the finish down low from Russell.
Really good play call there by Jeff Walls, and screening that middle player in the zone allowed them to get open on the baseline. Then the hustle. Russell wasn't able to save it.
Russell getting it done on both ends there.
So there's a screen here that's screening out Latham. Curry sets the screen and allows Russell to be open. That is a beautiful play and great execution to get that ball to the weak side block and finish.
Almost came up with a steal, but just stepped over the baseline. Couldn't quite keep it in play. Woolley. Doubled. Almost lost the handle. Gets it to go.
I don't know how Woolley was able to finish that, just using her length. Really nice touch, though, around the basket she has. And then there's Zhao on the steal. Look at the big girl getting in the mix defensively.
Syracuse starting to apply some defensive pressure here. 3 ball is short. Out of play, Louisville basketball.
Woolley wincing a little bit after that last play. Like she's holding or grimacing maybe that hand or thumb.
Cardinals, though, returning 4 players from last year's team, adding in 8 newcomers to the mix. So certainly an adjustment process to learn each other in the system. But as you pointed out, these transfers bring in a ton of experience. Ball offline, rebound. Brought in by Wilson. Fair, the graduate student guard out of Rochester, New York. A player who followed Coach Jack over from Buffalo. Coach Jack talks about her like a daughter and the way that she's watched her progress and blossom as a player as Woolley checks out of the game after looking like she maybe took a hit. She's out there at the end of the bench, but Dyashia Fair with a great relationship with her coach Jack. She fakes it.
Yeah, Kylan, when you talk about loyalty, we often talk about players staying in programs for 4 to 5 years. As Fair hits the step back, baby. Oh, she's so fun to watch. When we talk about loyalty and players staying at schools, well, how about loyalty and staying with a coach, right? Coach Jack is just a player's coach. I mean, she's made Dyashia Fair just this awesome superstar, one of the best scorers college basketball has seen. And right back at you, though, is Jada Curry on the 3.
Curry with the answer. Fair, though, a player who was not recruited much out of high school, and there is something to be said for having that loyalty to someone who believed in you before anyone else did, and it's something Fair has talked about in interviews and Coach Jack talked with us about, is she saw something special in her early on when a lot of eyes weren't watching.
The drive here, and then Curry just fills, and you cannot forget about the 40% three-point shooter at the top of the key.
Curry averaging under 40% rather from the floor and more than 40% from beyond the arc. So that's her sweet spot. She especially likes that area at the top of the key. Fair. Open 3 look for Rice is offline.
Rice has had a tough couple of games for the Orange. Did not score in their last one versus Georgia Tech. Awesome defense, though, by Alyssa Latham on the block.
Jada Curry thought she was going to get that one off. Couldn't in time. And a foul is called as well.
Latham tracking back on the transition and gets the block on Curry. You talk about special freshmen across the country, and in terms of what I've seen early in the season, and Alyssa Latham just is different in terms of a post player freshman in the ACC, averaging almost 9 points a game and then 7+ rebounds.
Curry called for her first foul, and Syracuse is now in the bonus, so it's Dyashia Fair at the other end going to the line. Back to Latham, though. She was starting initially. She's actually top 6 in the ACC in terms of rebounding, top 7 in blocks per game with 7.5 boards, 32 total blocks on the season, but there are some ups and downs. It's hard to sustain the level of play. The ACC requires you to bring intensity every single game. There are no days off.
Yeah, well, and Coach Jack just told us, as another block by Latham, hold on. It's a block party in Syracuse.
Latham heard us talking, said, I'll get the party started.
Man, this is on the track down from behind. All ball as well. Man, she's special. Love it when post players just don't give up on the play. She closed space so fast, and you know, Coach Jack just told us she took her out of the starting lineup because she needed to see the game first, and it's a benefit, right? Those 6 Player of the Year awards are given. When you've got time to see the game, to understand what you need to bring in order to make it effective, you can learn a little bit more, especially as a freshman, and she's been tremendous off the bench for the Orange.
Bank was open for Russell on the other end as Louisville extends their lead to 6. Latham, though, coming off a nice game against Georgia Tech, 12 points, 8 rebounds, really injected a lot of life into the game when she entered, and that's something that can be a major asset as well, as increasing the pace, adding a different element when she gets into the game. Right on cue.
Great little dribble and operating there by Rice, and then finds Latham, and she's got a nice jump shot around the basket, but Jada Curry has come alive here in the first quarter as well for the Cardinals.
Curry gets the last laugh.
Obviously, the NCAA after that. Got to take care of your games in February. It's just oh so crucial this time of year.
Every team fighting for every spot in the ACC. Coach Wall's telling us this might be the deepest the conference has been. Top to bottom, there's no one that you say, hey, this is a gimme when we show up.
Absolutely not, and Coach Jack mentioned that. You know, she said, hey, we didn't have a ranked opponent come into our gym on Thursday, and Georgia Tech felt like the team start off a little bit slow, and quickly they realized they were in a dogfight and had to pull it out.
Speaking of a dogfight, this one should be fun here in quarters 2, 3, and 4. Right there late in the shot clock, though, Syracuse bailed out by a foul. They'll get it on the baseline with now 20 back on the clock. Syracuse getting it done on the offensive glass. They usually do. Woolley goes to the ground, and there's the second chance points.
Great offensive rebound there by Wood, and then the quick finish. I really like the footwork of a lot of the Syracuse post players, Wood and Wilson, who's now on the bench, but they just have great footwork once they get inside, operating those tight spaces and finishing.
Syracuse now with 8 offensive rebounds and just 3 defensive rebounds. You don't often see that type of disparity. Baseline ball rattles out from Love. Curry with a sharp cut into the lane draws the foul. Tuesday on the season finale of Inside the NFL, the guys break down all the action and relive the sights and sounds from Super Bowl 58. Inside the NFL Super Bowl edition, Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central on the CW. Going to the line here is Jada Curry, made a nice impact off the bench so far, has 5 as she now has an opportunity to make it 6 and 7 at the free throw line. Some disparity, though. Coach Wall's not happy as our officiating crew here, Carla Fountain, Brendan Enterline, and John Capolino are having a discussion. Is it on the floor, or will she go to the line? Initially, they were lining up like it was going to be free throws. Foul was...
Well, I had thought that she was going up for a layup. I thought she cut in and was getting the ball up and then had gotten fouled. So here she is on the cut. It might have happened a little bit before, but you definitely, as she was going up, had gotten hit, and yeah, they reversed it. I agree with that.
Jada Curry will go to the free throw line here. Out averaging nearly 19 points per game. Corona, California native, Cal transfer, coming off of 2 great seasons out on the West Coast. Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, 2-time Pac-12 All-Conference selection, according to the media, 2-time honorable mention selection per the coaches.
She's made a difference here already, 6 points off the bench.
Curry, a player who had led the team in several games in scoring before the Syracuse matchup, was held scoreless after running into a little bit of foul trouble early on the last time these two teams met. But the thing about this Louisville team is on any given day, anyone can step up and be the leading scorer, so they were able to rally around that despite Curry being a non-factor when these teams met 11 days ago. Baseline play here for the Orange. Plenty of time for Latham to hit from the baseline.
A little miscommunication there defensively for the Cardinals. It leaves Latham open, and man, just in terms of her scoring ability, her rebounding, but just that 15-foot jump shot is so consistent for a freshman.
Ball out of play here. Discussion about who it last touched off of.
I love that Coach Jack. She starts to get upset. She just takes a seat. Like immediately just, okay, takes a seat.
Louisville looking to get the ball in off the baseline. Cochran way outside. Harris working, draws the foul.
Nyla Harris just works so hard inside the paint along the baseline, but what Syracuse cannot do is allow her to catch the ball with her numbers showing. They've got to give just more attention to her before she gets the ball. With a player like Harris, once she gets the ball and she has the step, she's able to be aggressive and use her moves, you've lost the battle. You have to do your work before she gets the ball.
Harris coming off a career-high 19 points on 9 of 11 shooting from the floor in their win over Notre Dame was just outstanding, and that type of efficiency just so impressive to see.
Kylan, she was on fire. I mean, just the whole game. Every play she made was the right play. And she plays with such a passion as well. If you're watching her play, she just lights up. She's always smiling, she's always clapping, giving teammates high fives. Just, you can tell she enjoys playing this game.
Harris now is 8 points, 3 for 3 from the floor, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Fair though, drawing the double, travel called. Another turnover here for the Orange. It's also National Girls and Women in Sports Day here on the Syracuse campus, or at least a celebration of that. It happened earlier this week, and schools all over the country celebrating on different days whenever the games come up, and it's great to see. We've got some young female students and prospective sports broadcasters shadowing us here.
All about visibility. If you see it, then you know you can be it. I love being a part of these days.
Curry pulls up and gets it to rattle home.
Uh-oh, Jada Curry is heating up. That is another problem on the balanced scoring attack for the Cardinals. Curry now has 9.
Curry leading all scorers, 3 for 5 from the floor. She knocked down a triple and now 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. Fair, off the screen, no. Somehow keeps that one in play and goes to the ground with the foul called. Dyashia Fair, though, holding her right shin area.
Fair, she was going for the rebound, and yeah, may have just got kneed there. She was trying to turn the corner on the foul. She takes a lot of hits. I mean, she's just always in the mix, tracking down rebounds, getting in there defensively.
Really impressive as well, the way she mixes it up. You'll see her in the middle of rebounding battles, and she's just 5'5". She plays so much bigger to me than her height.
For sure.
Fair, a 2023 All-ACC first team and all-defensive team selection, a WBCA All-America honorable mention selection as well, and there that one falls for her. And that makes it 400 career three-pointers made for Dyashia Fair. Just incredible what she's been able to accomplish under Coach Jack, now at Syracuse. On the other end, the Cardinals getting it done.
Dyashia Fair, just one of the best, and almost wish we had way more basketball to watch of her than just these last months winding down, but tremendous what she's able to do off the bounce as well. She gets her own offensive rebound.
Fair strip though, she tried to get back in the lane. Russell pushing. Harris tries to find Cochran, batted away.
Good anticipation by Latham to get the deflection.
Dyashia Fair, 400 career three-pointers, just so impressive. Has played in all but 3 minutes of the last 7 contests. Regularly plays 40 minutes. Just unbelievable what she means to the Syracuse team and what she's been able to accomplish in her collegiate career. 16th player in NCAA history to eclipse 3,000 career points. Did it back in January. Curry gets inside, denied. Huge stop by Latham. The block party continues here in Syracuse, New York.
Alyssa Latham just putting on a show for us. Her 3rd block of the game. Gets Curry on the pull-up. And then Woolley is fouled, trying to corral the rebound. But how impressive is Alyssa Latham? Just a freshman. Cannot imagine what another 3 years under Coach Jack and her development could look like.
Latham, a Glenwood, Illinois native, was the Max Preps Illinois player high school and has a lot of maturity, something that Coach Jack pointed out as well. Is really emphatic about taking care of her body, nutrition, sleep, as that 3 won't go. But there's Fair battling. Can't get the 3 to go.
2 offensive rebounds, so Louisville now playing defense for almost a minute straight.
Latham's shot a little too strong. Pushing is Jefferson. Nice pass, but denied. Cardinals trying for the 2nd try, but it's a jump ball. The Syracuse defense just stifling inside.
And the Dome is going crazy right now. The Orange being gritty inside. Verjao, and that's what I love about what this grad transfer brings to this team. The grit, the experience, the toughness. Everybody needs a dog on their team, and Verjao is it.
Coach Jack pointed out she brings others up with her as the travel is called. Basket will not count. She also is a vocal leader, and a lot of these young post players on this team look up to her. She sets the tone, and that's the kind of tone she's setting today.
It's been great for Coach Jack to have her back, and at the best time of the year, right? In February, again, you know how important these games are, and to build your depth. And Syracuse so dangerous when both Latham and Verjao are on the court together. I mean, that front court duo is hard to guard.
Latham gets the turnaround. Excuse me.
The freshman not playing like a freshman at all.
How about this? Just what a game. 2nd quarter action has not disappointed. Louisville leads Syracuse by 5.
Want to know the secret ingredient to running my business?
Sure.
Being all over, all at once.
All the time.
But my old network wasn't cutting it. And that's not good for baking, or judging, or writing. So we switched to Verizon, the network businesses rely on. With Verizon Business Unlimited, I get 5G, truly unlimited data, and unlimited hotspot data. So no matter what, I'm running this kitchen.
Make the switch. It's your business. It's your Verizon.
I'm a guy who lost a bet and my dignity. Get out of the way! As if watching my team lose wasn't punishment enough. What are you looking at, huh? What are you? It's a 1-speed. And if you have cut rate car insurance, odds are you'll be paying for that yourself. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me. Hey, I'm walking here.
We're done.
What about these?
Looks right.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty absorbs spills like a sponge and is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Earning a degree doesn't have to mean starting from scratch. At University of Maryland Global Campus, it means building your next success on the foundation of life experience. UMGC values the successes you've already achieved. That's why you can earn up to 90 credits from prior learning and life and job experience toward our bachelor's degree programs. No application fee if you apply by February 12th at umgc.edu.
I will never again lose to my brother, decided Issa, because I've switched to consumer cellular, and now I get the same coverage he's got for half the cost.
I'm the one who wins.
Birds, when freedom calls, we're here to answer.
911, what's your emergency?
Sheriff's office is reopening an investigation.
This story was odd. Who returns without the love of his life and doesn't say a word?
The paranoia took off like a tsunami. People became more and more obsessed with the case.
This house should be burned!
That was when the chase began.
As we're running, I heard gunshots.
People are still trying to mentally process how all of this could have happened.
Crime Nation, True Crime docuseries premieres February 20th on the CW.
ACC basketball on the CW is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. How about this? All-female broadcast crews going on around the country. As we mentioned, National Girls and Women in Sports Day was celebrated at various times throughout the week. And Isis, you got a chance to be a part of an all-female broadcast right here on the Syracuse campus. What was that like?
It was incredible. I mean, a lot of the women in this picture right now were students at the time that have now gone on to work in sports. And then getting the chance to work with Beth Mowens so early in my career was fantastic. We've got Kalia Butler here, a student for Syracuse that's shadowing our broadcast today. Oh, hi, that's us.
There's
We're
us.
here.
And we are women in sports, and it's great to see this day being celebrated across the country, and now there being so much more visibility and awareness about getting women into the space that's been dominated by men for so long. Sitting in this play-by-play chair, it's something that I don't overlook, the opportunity to get to do this, but also how few women there are doing this specific role. It's just great to see the continued growth across the country, and very grateful for the women who paved the way.
Well, and how I think about it, Kylan, is just that we want to reflect the great product on the floor as Rice finally gets a field goal to go, and it's been 2 games where she hasn't been able to score the basketball, and she gets that to go. But for me, it's just representing the product on the floor so well. I mean, our producer, Kristen Hennessy, obviously a woman, has made sure to represent the Syracuse product well and was one of my first producers in getting into this business. And it's just nice to see that even behind the scenes we have women that are producing these shows and making sure that what you see and what you hear is from that perspective. It's important.
Ricards hits that little mid-range, and it's not something you often see even as women behind the scenes producing. It's becoming more common, but just for so long these crews have been dominated by men, and shout out to the CW for putting women in these positions as Bergeau's 3 is offline. Pushing here are the Cardinals. Ricards, ball out of play, but it will stay with Louisville. Ricards with 6 points now, 3 for 3 from the floor. Pointed her out early in this game. Florida transfer, coming off a huge senior season. They're averaging a career best, 12+ points per game, nearly 5 boards as Cochran's shot won't go. Hughes now pushing. Oh, what a take. Foul called, though.
And
Love got a piece of it, but a little too much.
This is when Elena Rice is at her best, when she's able to get downhill. We were talking to Coach Jack earlier about things they can do to get her going, and said she's got to get the ball, she's got to go downhill, she's got to get to the free throw line.
Rice here going to the free throw line, the graduate student guard, shooting about 77% from the charity stripe, averaging more than 11 points per game. You're watching ACC basketball on the CW, brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. How about this matchup, though? 4-point ball game with just under 4 to go before the halftime break as Rice's free throw rattles home, and she came into this one just 10 points away from 1,000 career points. So you talk about experience for the Orange. That's a player who's been through it. She played at Auburn, played at Florida A&M, so a little bit of a journey woman before coming here, experienced different environments. Certainly leadership that this Syracuse team is happy to have.
Syracuse now with the full court pressure, trying to speed up the Cardinals a little bit, but they break it with no problem.
Something the Orange were looking to do, mix up the defenses. Press also a part of that. Denied, huge defensive play. Jefferson gets it back. Here come the Orange. Fair. Woolley. Verjao double teamed, jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it with the orange. But how about that transition defense there from the Cardinals? Thought that Hughes was going to get an easy look out on the break.
Yeah, great hustle there by Kiki Jefferson, and unfortunately got a little too chippy there as Jefferson and Verjao awarded with technicals.
Double technicals here with 3 minutes and 16 to go before the halftime break. This matchup with a lot of intensity.
So you mentioned the transition defense, and then Kiki Jefferson here just does a great job on Verjao, ties her up in little words.
Jefferson and Verjao. Both getting technicals. Ball here on the baseline coming out. Third team foul going against the Cardinals. Fourth team foul against the Orange. 3-point ball game. Fair rises up. Rebound brought in by Harris.
Harris so tough on the boards. I mean, just a great box out there over Verjao, and Louisville does a great job in their offense when they can control the boards defensively. It allows them to establish that rhythm.
Harris averaging just under 6 rebounds per game as that one is touched out of bounds.
Good anticipation by Rice on the backside.
Baseline play here for the Cardinals. 7 on the shot clock. 3 is too strong. O-board brought in by the Cardinals. Battling is Harris. Jefferson from the top of the key, no. Fair, pushing. Sees Jefferson in front of her.
I thought Fair should have took that one-on-one against Jefferson. I mean, she's electric in transition. Jefferson was tracking back.
Woolley gets the mid-range game going.
Good decision, though, to pull it out and wait for the offense to flow. And feels like the Orange are building a bit of momentum here late in the second quarter.
1-point ball game. Fair, though, with that quick step. Usually she is one who will go to the top if she gets an opportunity in transition.
Well, Coach Jack told us, I mean, that's been something she's worked on her with her whole career, is knowing when to score the basketball and take over, and then knowing when to be that fast first point guard. And Woolley went for an ambitious block there and is called for the foul.
Coming up on the Intuit TurboTax halftime report. Going to be taking a look back at some of the best moments from the first half, a look back at some of the stats, and then take a look around the NCAA as well, as there is so much momentum right now for women's basketball. I mean, we talk about National Girls and Women in Sports Day. I don't know if there's ever been this much attention on the collegiate women's game. You look at some of the stars coming up, Juju Watkins, Hannah Hidalgo, what Caitlin Clark has done to elevate the game. There are more conversations around women's basketball than ever before.
Tell you what, there's more rebounding than ever before, because Nyla Harris is not stopping. She's going through 1, 2, 3 Orange women to get rebounds.
Rebounding battle been a tight one. Syracuse with 18, Louisville with 15. But for the Orange, 12 of those have been O-boards, and that was a big focus for Coach Walls. His Cardinals have to box out on the defensive end. There you see them battling for the O-board, but they got to bring that energy on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Louisville has had tremendous success scoring inside the paint already in this first half. They're shooting 51% from the field. So you talk about why Syracuse doesn't have many defensive rebounds. It's because the Cardinals haven't missed much.
Makes it much more difficult to rebound the ball when it goes through the basket, as Harris knocks down the free throw. Louisville extending the lead to 4 here with under 2 minutes to play before the halftime break. Fair. Rice. Nine to shoot. Rice rises up. Fight for the rebound, jump ball called. Latham mixing it up once again.
Well, Latham and Harris are just battling. I mean, both tremendous rebounders. So you expect that level of competition between them. But in terms of offensive possession for Syracuse, I thought it was a bit stagnant. I mean, only Fair and Rice touched the ball. They didn't get a post touch. They got to look to keep that versatility offensively to make the Cardinals play defense and then find those areas where you can attack.
Pull up from Jefferson, short. Bounces out of play, Syracuse ball. The chance to close the gap here just before the halftime break. Louisville 1 of 8 on their last couple trips down the floor. Have not scored a field goal in the last 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, the intensity defensively for the Orange has picked up. They've been rebounding, they've gotten deflections, gotten steals, and just been disruptive.
The Orange forcing 7 turnovers. Oh, nice move. Wilson just couldn't get it to fall. Russell in transition. Taken away, out of bounds.
Man, Fair worked so hard. She went on an all-out sprint to get across the court. Watch Fair, she's tracking here and then goes an all-out sprint just to get in the mix to be disruptive against Russell.
Talk a lot about what Fair does offensively. Came into this one leading her team with 50 steals. Uses that quickness also to be disruptive on the defensive end.
We're seeing that with a ton of point guards across the ACC right now. Hannah Hidalgo leading the country in steals. Georgia Amore, good defender off the ball as well. I mean, it makes a difference when you can play defense because then you get to run and play exciting basketball.
Fair with the kick out. Burrows, no. Harris battles for the rebound.
How many times have you said that? Harris battles for the rebound. She is on everything for the Cards, and then they find her underneath. Beautiful pass by Ricards.
5 to go. The Orange looking for the last shot. Fair from way downtown. Are you kidding me? Dyashia Fair just in time.
Also getting Olivia Cochran going. She's been a little quiet here in the first half, but certainly a player that they need to score the basketball as well.
Cochran with just 2 points, 1 of 4 from the floor through the first half of action. Second half underway here at the JMA Wireless Dome. Some high pressure defense here from Louisville. Both these teams average 9+ steals per game. Fair with a tough shot. Cardinals get the rebound this time. Jefferson beyond the arc, yes!
Good knockdown for Kiki Jefferson, but a miscommunication defensively for the Orange. Got to be able to get back in transition defense and find your person. That time Jefferson was left all alone.
Jefferson now with 7, 2 of 5 from the floor, knocking down her first 3 of the game. Also has 3 boards and 3 assists though. Player who can do a little bit of everything for this team, averages about 2.5 assists per game. A steal for the Cardinals. Taylor, Harris in transition.
Louisville finding their momentum here to start early in the third. Back-to-back points in transition.
Harris now with 16, 6 of 7 from the floor, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 7 boards as well. Starting to get into double-double watch territory. If she can get a couple more rebounds, and you expect her to have several more through the second half of action. She's been excellent on the glass. Freshman guard Sophie Burrows checking in for the Orange. Victoria, Australian native. Played with Australia's national team in the 2023 FIBA U19 Women's Basketball World Cup. Five to shoot. Fair from way downtown, no. Jefferson Out and running, foul called.
Cardinals just pushing the pace here. I mean, they've done a terrific job defensively of disrupting what the Oranges tried to do, and then they've been running in transition numbers here as Latham tries to go for the block but is called for the foul.
Something Coach Jack said is that her team is really fit. They feel like they can run with anyone. They're not afraid to run, but in this matchup, with the way that Louisville pressures and likes to get out in transition, she wants her team to also find the moments to slow it down, find the moments to dictate. Have you seen them do that so far?
Oh, I've thought the first couple of possessions offensively for them have just looked out of sorts, almost rushed, and they've taken contested shots. And so is it slowing down the pace? Possibly, but really for me, it's ball reversal right now. The ball is staying on one side of the court and it's stagnant. They've got to get ball reversal. They've got to make the Cardinals rotate defensively. That is how you build an advantage.
Trying to get the defense to shift, and this Louisville team has a stifling defense. Woolley, though, with a tough take.
Yeah, that was a nice move by Woolley. The Aussie with a beautiful crossover, and then the 2 steps for a finish.
Card shot rattles out. Woolley the board. Fair now pushing. Fair, nifty move. No. Fight for the offensive rebound. Verajao on the ground, doing whatever she can to get her body on it.
Yeah, great job by Verajao, just not giving up on the play. And Fair, normally terrific in transition. That's normally 2 points, but she stayed on it, forced the jump ball.
Verajao making her presence felt here in her second game back. Has just 2 points and 2 rebounds, but I feel like she's been scrapping for everything. She's been all over loose balls.
For sure, Coach Jack calls her a coach on the floor with her versatility and her experience, and I think this is an area where the Orange can also steal some points in transition, pushing that pace a little bit more, like you talked about, just getting a good shot, but also looking to attack when you have numbers.
There were a couple times that Fair in that first half looked like she was maybe going to go pull it back out. Has the decision-making been on point so far in that regard?
I think a couple of times she should have went, but when she gets these one-on-one ISO opportunities, when she makes them, it's great for the Orange. But when there isn't a chance to get an offensive rebound, it then makes their offense very stagnant. And so here they put on the full court pressure. They're trying to speed up the Cardinals and see if they can get some extra possessions. But this pass over the top, that can't happen, Kylan. That's way too easy.
Oh, and Harris can't get it to go.
Yeah, Harris is going to want that one back. That's normally one that she makes. She's so good at slicing across the lane and then finishing over that left shoulder.
Harris with some frustration, just her second missed shot of the game, though. But you looked at that last possession, there wasn't a lot of ball movement like you were just talking about for Syracuse. It was mostly just Fair kind of dribbling and working off ball screens.
Yeah, ball movement and then getting a post touch right here. See if Verajao can bring something different as she's going one-on-one. Big girl off the glass. That's her move, folks. She likes that drop step, that spin, and then to finish with her right hand.
Nicely done with a tough angle, too. Jefferson draws the foul.
And Kiki Jefferson just so good off the bounce, so good at getting to that mid-range area and then pulling up right before the defense gets here. And then could have been both. Could have been Woolley, could have been Verajao. I thought both of them had gotten a piece of her arm.
Woolley called for her third foul, so we'll see how much she stays on the floor.
That's the second time Woolley also has fouled a jump shooter. One of those cardinal rules that you just don't want to do defensively.
Haven't talked a ton about Kiki Jefferson here down this most recent stretch, but she's now into double figures in scoring as she knocks down that free throw. Pointed out she leads this Cardinals team, averaging more than 13 points per game, but has been on a tear as of late, averaging more than 17.5 points and 5+ boards, 3 assists in the last 5. So doing a little bit of everything for this Cardinals team as of late.
Oh, she stepped right into that leadership role on this team. And like you mentioned, just the stat stuffer, but also for the Cardinals, I mean, their balanced scoring attack has been fantastic. Harris has 16, Kiki Jefferson has 11, Ricards has 7, and then Jada Curry, who came off the bench in the first half and made a difference, has 9. So it's been tough to just, like you talked about earlier, pick one person to limit for the Cardinals. You have to guard all 5 players on the court.
There's Sydney Taylor is called for her third, checks out of the game, the UMass transfer. graduate student guard, will have to take a little bit of a break, coming off a nice performance, 13 points against Notre Dame. Verjao from the corner. Oh, that was sweet.
The Brazilian can also knock down threes from the outside. The center at 6'4", so versatile for the Orange.
Verjao's 4th three-pointer of the season. Mentioned she had to miss more than 2 months dealing with an injury, but has the ability to space the floor as there's a jump ball called on the scramble.
And Fair makes the right click pass to the corner. Verjao has all the time and space to check the wind and knock it down.
Verjao coming in with 4 seasons of experience at Michigan, also brings in tournament experience, which is what this team is looking to do. As a part of the Michigan team that went to the first Elite 8 in program history.
Yeah, she was paired with teammate Naz Hillman, who is in the W, a very good post player and well coached by Kim Barnes-Rico. Does a terrific job at Michigan there. Here as Rice gets across the paint, and Jefferson, yeah, just a little bit of hip check, and that's enough to call the foul. Absolutely.
Jefferson called for her second. Going to be the team's second as well. Now this Cardinals team with an over 3-minute scoring drought at the moment here in this 3rd quarter. Fair, foul called, Curry frustrated.
Now, Dyashia Fair reminds me of James Harden when she's on the ball and the way that she can get fouls drawn, right? She's good at kind of getting you to put that hand up and then attacking that space and forcing the foul. And that's what scorers do, right? They want to keep the defense on their toes. She's terrific at just drawing fouls while she's on the ball, dancing with it.
Curry called for her 3rd, so another player dealing with a little bit of foul trouble here in this 3rd quarter. Both Curry and Taylor with 3 for the Cardinals. Tough angle. O-board brought in by Rice, but foul called on the floor. Frustration there from Louisville. That one's going to go against Jada Curry, so that's now her 4th. Jada Curry, after providing that spark off the bench, really a couple nice baskets in the first half to put up 9. Now will check out with 4 fouls.
Yeah, she picked up 2 quick ones, right, in which plays in which you don't need to pick up that foul. And then Cochran at the end of that play also seemed to look shaken up. She retied her shoe, which is normally that old, I might have tweaked my ankle a little bit. Let me tie this a little tighter.
Something to keep an eye on. Cochran with just 2 points, 1 of 4 from the floor. Step back from Fair, too strong. Fight for the rebound, foul called once again. Running it down there was Rice. That one's gonna go against Rice. That's her 2nd.
Yeah, Rice hasn't scored much today, but where she's effective is in chasing down those rebounds and then playing really good defense, and happened to pick up that one just a little overzealous there on trying to get the O-board.
Rice with 4 points, 1 of 6 from the floor. Did not score though in that Georgia Tech game. A mid-range shot will fall pretty from Harris.
And she's just so good. 18 points here today. So confident in what she's able to do.
Speaking of confidence, Verjao fired, O-board. Second chance here for the Qs. Latham's 3 is off. Cards.
I'm gonna say Coach Wall's telling his team, go, go, go. He wants them to hunt in transition, and they get rewarded with the foul.
Russell going strong with the cut to the basket. Louisville holding on to the 51-44 lead in quarter number 3. Dyashia Fair with 13, going to look to get this Q's team going.
My name's Brian Heffler, and because of TikTok, I have the power to educate people and hopefully save lives. When my son Brian died in a drunk driving accident, I put out a video about it and tried to stop young people from drinking and driving.
No other family has to go through what we did.
TikTok has the power to change society, and I think that's where the power of TikTok lies. If you save one person, that's one more person that can change the world too, right?
Life doesn't stop for a cold.
Honey.
Honey. DayQuil Severe Honey. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste. DayQuil Honey. The honeylicious daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head fever, power through your day medicine.
Want to know the secret ingredient to running my business? Her. Being all over, all at once, all the time. But my old network wasn't cutting it. And that's not good for baking, or judging, or writing. So we switched to Verizon, the network businesses rely on. With Verizon Business Unlimited, I get 5G, truly unlimited data, and unlimited hotspot data. So no matter what, I'm running this kitchen.
Make the switch. It's your business. It's your Verizon.
Having health insurance is important. So if anyone in your family has Medicaid or CHIP, listen up. Check the mail for your renewal form. Complete the form. And mail it back right away, so you don't lose your coverage. If you do lose your coverage, visit healthcare.gov to see if you're eligible to enroll in a low-cost, quality health plan. Healthcare.gov.
When do we go from learners to leaders? Who draws the line between theory and practice and decides when our dreams go live? We do. Potential is over. It's time to rise as one, to rise as Orange.
Syracuse 0 for 4 their last couple field goals, looking to make up some ground here as Louisville holds the 7-point lead midway through quarter number 3. And Dyashia Fair, the player they want to get it to, a player who Coach Jack mentioned needs to find moments to take over, but third quarters are where she struggled. It's held true today with 0 points. What does she need to do to get something going here to help this Syracuse team?
I think Dyashia Fair does a ton of work on the ball, right? Everything is off the dribble, a lot of ISO, a lot of her getting into the paint and creating for others. Can someone else, though, create some opportunities for her, right? Whether it's a play call and it's quick hitters to get her an open 3 off of a screen, whether it's maybe getting a post touch and then off of the double team, kicking it back out to her. But you got to find ways to get her the ball in different situations. And then we saw Olivia Cochran towards the end of that timeout just walk to the end of the bench. She had to get treated by the athletic team and get some tape on that ankle. So hoping she's good to go, and I'll check back into the game here later.
Good catch, Isis, noticing that she was tying up her shoe as that 3 is offline, indicating a lot of times maybe a tweak of the ankle. So she remains on the bench here as Louisville looks to protect the lead. Tough charge. Charge called on Kiki Jefferson.
Jefferson just gets a little too deep here. Thought she could have pulled up with one less dribble, but then she takes the other one. And great job by Latham to anticipate that she was coming that way to accept the contact. I mean, Latham has made play after play after play today, folks.
Fair got double teamed there on that screen. Woolley all the way to the cup.
Coach Jack puts her hands up like, come on, you could do this every time if you wanted to. Woolley known for her mid-range game, but I love that she's been able to get in the paint and finish as well.
Woolley second on the team in scoring, and a player that Coach Jack wanted to come in with confidence, be aggressive in this game. Talked about wanting to get her going after a couple of more quiet performances. 7 points against Georgia Tech on Thursday. Scramble on the floor. Timeout called by Louisville head coach Jeff Walz. Back and forth battle. It's Louisville still holding the lead here in quarter number 3, 53-46 the score.
What's up, home slice?
Have you seen my money? Is she the one that told me, don't tell him where I went?
Whose line is it anyway? This Tuesday at 9/8 Central on the CW.
Whatever he says is not as bad as it's about to sound.
This is bull poop.
Family Law, Wednesday at 9/8 Central on the CW.
Oh my God, you guys are not gonna believe it!
Turn it up.
I'm strictly interested in the comedic elements.
You okay?
Turns out I forgot to eat right and exercise for the last 50 years.
What's all the racket?
We're good parents. You get the things. Just a bit of fun.
Listen up.
Okay.
Exciting. Bigger.
Better? Good stuff.
Ooh. Absolutely.
Sorry, Mom.
Let's get him.
That is absolutely amazing.
Let me finish.
Free. You got you.
ACC basketball on the CW is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Hard-fought battle underway here at the JMA Wireless Dome in Syracuse, New York on a chilly Sunday afternoon. The action, though, just heating up here late in quarter number 3. Dive into the nation's most shocking mysteries. Catch the series premiere of the all-new CW original true crime series, Crime Nation. Tuesday, February 20th at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, only on the CW. Looking at the stats here, Isis, these teams very even in a number of categories. 10-10 in terms of turnovers. The rebounding battle toe-to-toe with 25 each. Neither team has made a lot of 3 balls. What's been the difference so far?
Louisville scoring in the paint. I was surprised there that Bolio did miss that shot because she had such good position inside, but Louisville has been able to score in the paint at will and get downhill. And then for Syracuse, just needing more of a balanced scoring attack. They've got to find a way to get that ball into the post and get some action inside as well.
Woolley, tough turnaround.
Yeah, that's a tough shot. Tough, contested. You got to work to get a better look than that.
Woolley, the only other player besides Fair in double scoring in figures, has 12, 5 of 9 from the floor, has yet to make a 3. Time for Jefferson, comes up short. Ricards. Nine to shoot. Jefferson from the corner, rattles out. Pushing here is Rice. Fair all by herself, lays it up and in.
Defense to offense.
Dyashia Fair now with 15, putting her first points on the board here in the third quarter. Pointed it out, it's not typically her best, but tell you what, she comes alive in the fourth. You look down the list of her scoring efforts, double digits regularly in fourth quarters.
Yeah, I saw a tweet the other day that said, Dyashia in the fourth, that's not fair. I'll preview it now, just in case she pops off in the fourth, and then I'll bring it back for you, Kylan.
All right, you love that. I mean, you look at, she is just a clutch player in fourth quarters, averaging nearly 13 points per game in second halves, and we just pointed out she's not typically shooting particularly well in the third quarters, but averaging right about 9 points per game in fourth quarter action, and so many times in clutch games against Notre Dame, comes up with 14 in the fourth, 13 against Boston College. 13 in the fourth quarter against Louisville. It just goes on and on.
Oh, yeah. She's consistent that way. She knows that when the team needs to win, she's got to do a little bit more. Great defense there by Russell to tie up Rice, who walks away a little bit shaken up as well.
Jump ball, the call. All going to be coming back in on the baseline. A little bit of a discussion. By the way, Cochran back in the game after getting taped up there during that last timeout. Her ankle being taped up. Does return.
And Jada Curry as well for the Cardinals checked back into the game. Reminder that she's got 4 fouls, so if you're Syracuse, you may want to put her on an island and really look to attack her.
Going to be a review there on that last play.
Yeah, well, anytime a player gets hit in the face, especially off a situation like this, you look to review it to make sure that there was
play is
nothing
under review.
intentional. And so Russell maybe with that extension, I don't think that anything seemed extra or intentional there. I thought it was just physical basketball.
Official review underway as both teams are battling for the ball. In that last possession, held ball, the official call at the moment.
Okay, that angle showed a little bit of an antic afterwards after Russell had gotten the ball. Maybe that is what specifically they're looking at. So it's not necessarily on the tie-up as they were moving. It's after the tie-up that Russell kind of pushes that right hand out and extends it a little bit. Yeah, just there, yeah.
A lot of boos from the crowd here at the JMA Wireless Dome as it was being shown on the big screen as well. Folks thinking there were some extracurriculars. Once again, the officiating crew, Carla Fountain, Brandon Ennerline, and John Capolino taking another look as to whether there was too much there after the play, it would seem. Still a 5-point ball game here late in quarter number 3. Now this Louisville team has not been in a lot of tight games. You look at their scores throughout the season, really they have no single possession finishes.
Yeah, no games where they've won or lost by 5 or less. And so as you get here down this, which is impressive. Let me start by saying that, which is impressive, in that the games that they've won, they've had that bit of a margin. I mean, 15th team in the country, 9-2 in the ACC. They've had some really impressive wins this season.
Talking to Coach Wall, something he pointed out is the fact that down the stretch, there's not 1 or 2 players who they need the ball in their hands to step up. He feels like
after review,
everyone is ready and anyone is going to be ready down the stretch. Intentional foul is going to be the call made by the officiating crew here at the JMA Wireless Dome. And there, Russell having a little discussion as they're 2 shots, as the officials just gave us the word that it was an intentional foul with a little extra contact there that you pointed out, Isis. 2 shots now for Dyashia Fair.
Yeah, good work by the officials and our camera crew to get all the angles needed to make that. I thought that they handled that correctly.
One thing that's tough now is if this ends up being a single possession game, giving up free throw opportunities like that, an intentional foul, and then for the Syracuse team, they've got to hit them. In the last game when these 2 teams met just 11 days ago, they shot just under 48% from the charity stripe. Something Coach Jack pointed out, when you lose a game by, even in that one, 12 points, but you miss 12 free throws, it's hard not to look back at that and say, hey, we got to execute better.
Yeah, you got to take all your money with you, and that starts with knocking down free throws, and Fair goes 2 for 2, and then the Orange get the ball back. So now if they could score here, that could potentially be a 4 or 5 point swing. I mean, this is huge.
Fair last time around went just 4 of 9 from the free throw line against Louisville. Comfortable on her home floor. Pulls up from the elbow, no. Cochran the rebound.
Yeah, I thought with Jada Curry having 4 fouls, you may look to get an ISO opportunity for Fair on one side where she's all alone. And then Curry makes the turnover.
Curry blazing into the lane there, drew a couple of defenders trying to spray it out though, but the speed looked like she just needed to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't under control. That's when you have to use that jump stop. Hop on 2, use your pivot, deliver an on-time, on-target pass.
Once again, the opportunity for a swing here for the Orange with a turnover. Tough drive, won't fall for Rice.
It's a tough angle for Rice. I mean, just took 2 steps, was fading away from the basket. She does such a good job penetrating and getting to the paint, but would love to see her finish with a little more composure.
Rice averaging more than 11 per game, but here come the Cardinals, able to break the press, and Taylor cashes in.
Taylor's first points of the game, a starter for the Cardinals. Gets the easy layup.
Taylor, one of the players who had to exit dealing with a little bit of foul trouble, had 3 earlier in this third quarter. Fair trying to keep it in play. Cardinals come up with it. Russell, no. Harris denied. Wow. Fair. Tough fadeaway. No. What a turn of events there during this last couple possessions.
Man, watch this block by Kyra Wood, folks. She comes into your screen, tracking it down off the backboard. That was assertive, and then Fair gets out in transition, and Kylan, we've talked about this, but I thought that should have been a layup. I think she's got to go look to attack and finish at the rim, but Kyra Wood, that's an impressive block. We've seen a couple, more than a couple. We've seen about 5 now from the Orange in terms of block shots. They've been assertive defensively.
Wood, a player who came in with 25 blocks, second on the team, averages more than 7 rebounds per game, 7 points as well. Has just 2 so far in this one, but what an exhilarating defensive play she just made. Top 10 in the ACC in boards per game and top 15 in blocks as well. Free throw knocked down by Ricards there, so Louisville extending their lead to 7 with 35 to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, that was an important stretch for Louisville because it could have went the other way, but instead they made really good plays defensively and then have finished.
5-second differential here between the game clock and shot clock. Fair. Going inside, gets the roll this time. Shot clock off. 3 to go. Ricards batted away. Last chance comes up short. Love did everything.
Fast break points for Coach Walls and his squad.
Anything the Orange need to do in terms of defensive transition to better hold them off.
Yeah, it's communicating in transition, locating shooters, but Louisville has only knocked down 2 threes in this game. The focus right now needs to be protecting the paint for the Orange.
Corner 3, rattles out. Cochran trying to come up with the offensive board alongside Love. It's going to go out of bounds for Syracuse basketball.
This is a huge lineup right now for the Orange. Verajao, Wilson, and Latham. That means Latham right now is a 3 playing the wing.
Fair. Baseline jumper goes for Mobley, or for Latham rather.
Yeah, Fair just attracts so much attention. She drops 2-3 defenders every possession, and Latham so good in the 15-foot range.
Latham with 8 points, 4 of 8 from the floor, 4 boards as well. Tough take inside from Love.
Beautiful finish by Love. Again, points in the paint. Louisville has just been dominant there. 32 points in the paint.
Syracuse, though, started to close the gap, especially in that third quarter. They now have 28 points in the paint as well, been able to do a little bit better in terms of that inside production.
Yeah, but here's been the difference, though, is Louisville 17 points on the free throw line, and this was something that we talked about in their loss to Louisville 11 days ago as Latham gets called for the offensive.
Latham assessed with the foul. That's the first one in the fourth quarter for the team.
The Cardinals are 8 of 8 on the free throw line in this half. They made 17 of 18.
That is going to be her third. So that's something to note. Latham with 3 fouls here early in the fourth quarter. The Cards. Fair. Opts to pull it out once again. A little bit of a theme today when she sees that defender in front of her. She hasn't been attacking. Wood gets it ripped away by Taylor. Next Sunday on CW Women's Hoops, Georgia Tech heads to Raleigh to face national title contender NC State. Georgia Tech taking on third-ranked NC State next Sunday at 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific, only on the CW. Isis and I will be on the call for that one. That should be a lot of fun. NC State has been rolling as of late as that three ball is too strong. Another fight for the rebound. Taylor and Latham continuing to go at it. Latham is assessed with her 4th foul.
Yeah, the freshman has to be careful here, and as Wilson looks like she's going to check back in and maybe grab Latham, because I tell you what, as spectacular as she is, she also is a freshman, and having to play 7 minutes and 56 seconds without committing a foul is a tough assignment.
Latham with 8 points, 4 boards, though, been very effective in the minutes she's come in off the bench for the Orange.
Orange go back to a normal 3 guards, 2 big lineup. In this 3-2 zone, they like.
Cochran finds Harris, draws the foul.
We talked to Coach Jeff Walls before this game about Nyla Harris and just her growth and her ability. I mean, she had 18 and 14 versus Syracuse in the last game. She had a career high versus Notre Dame and was the X factor for the game. But what sticks out to me about her game is the way she operates the baseline. She has been tremendous in terms of sealing, relocating. She operates that baseline so well and makes herself available to get the ball and then finish.
Harris also does particularly well against Syracuse in 3 career games going back to last season, had 18 against the Qs, which was a career high at the time, averaging nearly 15 points and 10 rebounds per game. So this matchup is favorable for whatever reason for her.
Well, sometimes you just got that team's number. Sometimes it's just that day when you like to play against them.
Harris now has 20 in this one. Jefferson trying to get out in transition. Foul called, she goes to the ground. A little bit slow to get up as Jefferson, her teammates around her.
Yeah, but Kylan, please watch this. There is no Syracuse. There were no Syracuse players around. That should not have been called a foul.
And given the foul.
Yeah, and we've seen this before. I've seen this before where a player has been in the midst of transition. They've been amongst a lot of players and they've tripped. And so sometimes you can understand why the referees missed that. But on that situation, there were no Orange women around her.
Verajao assessed with a foul, though, and that's going to be her 3rd as Cochran tries it from the mid-range.
Syracuse has to get a good offensive possession. I felt like the last few just haven't looked like their offensive flow. And then Rice, tough reverse layup that she doesn't finish.
Jefferson out and running, and she does.
And that's what bad shots do. They act as almost turnovers, and the Cardinals thrive off of those. Now built their lead up to 9.
Going down, taking a bad shot quick in the shot clock. Essentially a turnover with the way this Louisville team can get out in transition. It's a 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Orange. Can they get something going down the stretch?
Everything we build is from the ground up. Every great idea, every crazy idea, every next idea. Everything you see, everything you feel when you drive it. We put everything we have into our trucks, so you get everything out of them. Ram, trucks are what we do.
Get 10% below MSRP for an average of $8,400 under MSRP on the purchase of select 2024 Ram light duty and heavy duty trucks.
JP Morgan Wealth Management knows it's easy to get lost in investment research. Get help with JP Morgan Personal Advisors.
Hey, David, ready to get started?
Work with advisors who create a plan with you and help you find the right investments.
So great getting to know you. Let's take a look at your new investment plan.
Okay, great.
This should have you moving in the right direction.
Thanks, Jen.
Get ongoing advice and manage your investments in the Chase mobile app.
Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors. Easy to apply for the whole family. Vicks VapoStick. And try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks vapors.
When Barbara switched to TurboTax,
I broke 4 generations of family tradition with 5 little words. Ma, I want to make perfume. Getting my business off the ground was a full-time job.
so I made Barbara's new site gig count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and a maximum refund. Make your moves. We'll make them count. Intuit TurboTax. 100% accuracy guaranteed.
When you're great, your game does the talking. In the ACC, ours speaks volumes. 26 appearances in the Final Four, including 9 different schools. 5 teams in the last 5 NCAA Final Fours. 40 teams in the NCAA tournament in the last 5 years, most of any conference. A nation best 8 ACC teams competed in the 2023 NCAA tournament. It's not bragging if it's true. Greatness is what we do. The ACC. Accomplish greatness.
9-point ball game in the fourth quarter between Louisville and Syracuse. Both these teams with a lot to play for, not just in ACC standings, but also in terms of earning that berth at the NCAA tournament. And something Coach Wall said is that this conference is as deep as it's ever been. You look at the projected tournament bids, 9 for the ACC, tying the SEC. And both these teams right now projected to be in. Louisville Cardinals, net ranking has them at 21. Expected, at least at this point, projected to be right around a 5 seed. And this Syracuse team looking to return to the NCAA tournament. It seems like they're poised to this season, top 25 ranked right now. But they're looking to close the gap here with 6.5 to go in the fourth quarter, trailing by 9.
Yeah, at this point in the season, you're playing for seeding, right? Whether that's in the ACC tournament to make sure that you get that bye in the first round, or for the NCAA tournament and trying to host. And Louisville right now looking pretty good as a potential host spot for the NCAA tournament if they continue with the way they've been playing.
Woolley gets caught up, goes to the ground, kept the ball bouncing though. Tough pass over the top. Wilson, the ball gets stuck. That's a jump ball. Fortunate break there for the Orange.
Well, their offense has been a little stuck here in the fourth. They haven't gotten that offensive rhythm and flow, but going back to what's at stake, just strength of schedule 61 in the country, and that net ranking, though, very good at 39. And we talked about this earlier, but Syracuse just has not had bad losses. They've lost to Maryland early in the season when they were ranked. And then I think importantly their wins. I mean, beating Notre Dame twice was fantastic. Also FSU.
Dropped a game to UNC. At the time they weren't ranked. Now they are, as that one rattles home. But it's true, when you look at the 4 losses for Syracuse, they're all to quality teams. Foul called on the other end as Harris went up.
Yeah, the Orange right now have to focus on getting back in defensive transition. Otherwise, the Cardinals are going to continue to run and get opportunities with pace.
Harris going to the line for 2. Foul called on Wilson. That's going to be her 3rd. Louisville also now in the bonus. Syracuse with 5 as a team. So that's going to be big here down the stretch with each foul. This Cardinals team going to the line.
We said it was a key to the game to defend without fouling because Louisville is just so good at attacking, getting downhill, and drawing those fouls. And they've been tremendous today in terms of finishing at the free throw line. 21 points for the Cardinals on the free throw line.
Fair from the corner. Got it! Louisville leads the conference, by the way, in both free throw attempts and free throws made. They shoot just about 74.5% from the charity stripe on the season, but you pointed out beyond that in this game, putting up 20 plus.
And on the other side, Fair, that 3 was off the ball, Kylan. She came off a screen. She had some space where all she had to do was catch and shoot and be a terrific shooter. Sometimes when she's on the ball, it's a bit too much pressure. It's a lot of energy that she expends.
Curry there forcing up a shot late in the shot clock.
Here she is, just off of a little action. Used Latham as a screen, and then Taylor went the long route, and you took a little bit too long, and Fair was able to knock it down.
You pointed out, though, the ability for her to get open off the ball. Who needs to step up and try to create some of those opportunities for Syracuse?
Well,
Who needs to set her up?
Yeah, Kylan, excuse me. Right now, I mean, it's interesting that Kennedy is in the game for Syracuse, Kennedy Perkins, and just she hasn't played a ton, but we've seen back-to-back possessions now where Fair has been off the ball, and then Wilson with a huge offensive rebound and finish with contact. Well, Fair off of the shot, and what the Syracuse team does, they expect the miss, gets the rebound, draws the foul on Cochran, a chance for the three-point play. That's a huge momentum swing for the Orange.
The bread and butter for the Syracuse team, being able to finish off the offensive glass. However, in this game, Louisville with 13 offensive boards, 12 points. Syracuse with 18 boards, 11 points. So it's actually the Cardinals that have the edge in terms of the scoring production as a result.
Yeah, the Orange did a great job in the first half of capitalizing off of their O boards and then allowing them to finish. But in the second half, it hasn't been that way.
Fair pulls up in transition. Oh, yeah! Taylor looking to respond, and she does. Shooting clinic here in Syracuse. My goodness, 4-point ball game, just trading threes in transition are the Cardinals and the Orange. Timeout on the floor. Coach Walls having a word with his team.
Man, it's the second and third best teams in the ACC. We expected nothing less than shot makers. Dyashia Fair knocks down a three, and then on the other side, Taylor says right back at ya.
It's interesting to see those three balls starting to go here late in the game. Neither team has been very successful from beyond the arc, both shooting right around 26-27%.
Louisville against their win versus Syracuse 11 days ago. The first half was pretty evenly matched. Everyone was scoring in the paint, but where they found a bit of separation was knocking down threes from the outside. And good call right here by Coach Jack to have Kennedy Perkins check into the game, right? The sophomore, we haven't seen a ton of her all game, but she's played important minutes here in the fourth. But the most important is allowing Fair to be off the ball, allowing Fair just to have the opportunity and the ability to catch and shoot. It takes the pressure off of what she's got to do for this team. And she can just play off the ball and be the scorer.
Perkins says, I can also be a scorer. Isis?
I can score too, though. I hear you, Kennedy Perkins. That's a nice bucket from the sophomore. Talk about the level of confidence it takes, though. Down the stretch in this game, you get into the game in the fourth quarter when it matters the most, and she's not afraid to score the basketball.
2-point ball game here in quarter number 4. A 10-3 run for Syracuse. And oh my gosh! Woolley trying to capitalize in transition, but this Syracuse team is not playing around down the stretch. Foul called. Big opportunity for the freshman forward Alyssa Latham at the free throw line.
Man, the Orange here in the fourth quarter. Listen, I don't remember this many blocks on this court when I played, but out here today, we've seen so many. That time it was Wilson on the weak side, and then Latham among 4 Cardinals able to get the foul, trying to get the putback. Important minutes here for the freshmen. I love right now that we're seeing the young players for the Orange step up. It's Latham, that's a freshman. It's Perkins, that's a sophomore. Sometimes you worry about putting young players in these situations late in the game, but the trust that Coach Jack is showing in her squad, and they are delivering.
This Syracuse team right now has 10 blocks coming from 6 different players. So everyone's eating at the block party. They average just 4.5 blocks per game. So this is something special we're seeing from this Orange defense right now.
Yeah, this is impressive. I mean, not to mention just the athletic ability of the Cardinals and the way they are blocking these shots. They picked it up, their intensity and defensively here in the fourth.
Latham went 1 for 2. Ricard's denied again!
The party isn't over, Kylan. The party is not over, folks.
11 blocks for the Orange. Fair breaks through. Yes! Syracuse takes the lead. Fair gets the board. First lead of the day for the Orange, and it comes late in the fourth quarter. And here comes one of the most clutch players, not just in the conference, but in the country, Dyashia Fair, now handling the basketball. What a comeback for the Syracuse team. Fair goes to the ground, takes contact. Off to the races are the Cardinals. Ricards streaking as Cochran can't get the roll.
Man, how about Olivia Cochran there on the defense? Got the block on Fair at the other end and then ran the floor. Woolley tried to be there for something, but just didn't get there in time. And Cochran rewarded at the free throw line.
Woolley called for her 4th foul. She has 14 points, been instrumental for the Syracuse team.
Tell you what, though, that block defensively was tremendous. I mean, we know Dyashia Fair gets everyone's best defender, but sometimes it takes 2 and 3 people to stop her, and that time Cochran just rotated at the right point and made that play.
Cochran makes the first to tie this game up at 69 apiece, shooting just under 74% from the free throw line. Makes the second. Louisville lead. Full court press here from the Cardinals. Perkins able to work it through the traffic.
That's a good way that Perkins handled that press because she didn't have much help in the backcourt, but she stayed composed.
Perkins. Nine to shoot. Perkins, tough angle, no. Cochran the rebound.
Got to find a way to get Dyashia Fair a touch. At this point in the game, there should not be a possession offensively for the Orange in which they're set in the half court and she doesn't get a touch, Kylan. That can't happen.
Fair, with the way she scores, averages 9 in the fourth quarter. This is the time where she takes over ball games. Playing off ball should open her up, but she has to get the ball.
Keep an eye, yeah, I was gonna say, keep an eye on Nyla Harris on the baseline. Great anticipation by Latham. Man, I can't imagine if we track deflections, what her number would be. I feel like we've seen 20 in terms of her blocks and then defensively just getting those tips.
Louisville head coach Jeff Wall is gonna call a 30-second timeout. 5 seconds on the shot clock, 1:13 remaining in this ball game. The Cardinals with a 1-point lead. What are the keys for both teams here in this final minute of the fourth quarter?
Yeah, great timeout by Coach Walls. It's an opportunity to set up your team to get a good shot with 5 seconds left. I'd pay attention here to punch action, right? Get Cochran in the game, big body post player. She does a great job of sealing. And then also pay attention to the shooters, whether it may be Kiki Jefferson coming off the screen, but most importantly here, they have to take care of the basketball and get a shot up. And then if you're Syracuse right now, you're playing honest defense, you're not fouling because you don't have to, but then most importantly, you secure the defensive rebound.
And get Dyashia Fair the basketball. The other key that you just pointed out, after you grab that defensive rebound. Big possession here though, 5 to shoot. Cochran spinning, gets the finish.
Punch action to Cochran, big body post player. She's a senior. This is what she does. She scores in moments. Nice play by the big girl.
Cochran overall quiet in this game with 6, but there's a response. Perkins calling her own number. You pointed out her coming in this game to open up Fair, but here she's had a couple of critical baskets down the stretch.
The inbounds here by Louisville. Wilson went for it, didn't get it, and then Cochran with a beautiful spin and fade, and then Kennedy Perkins. If you're a young player watching the game right now, take note from Kennedy Perkins. She didn't play the first 3 quarters of this game, but she came in the fourth quarter, and she's made the difference. Been really impressed with her down the stretch, just in terms of her composure, her maturity. Only a sophomore, but huge 4 points she's had to this game just in the fourth quarter alone. A lot of players, a lot of young players, Carlin, aren't ready for this opportunity. When you get in the game late and you have to make plays. But she stayed ready through 3 quarters and then has delivered here for the Orange. She's been huge.
To your point about her staying ready, even goes beyond this game. She played just 8 minutes against Georgia Tech, scored a bucket. That was her first time scoring in 6 games. Hadn't been used a ton. But now, when her team needs her, she's showing up.
Gotta be ready when your number is called.
Curry in the game, running the offense for Louisville with 4 fouls. About a 25-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. 1 point lead for the Cardinals. Oh, what a pass. Oh, but denied. Jump ball called on the floor, but the Syracuse Orange defense says no.
And at some point, you got to use a shot fake because the timing and the block party is very much real. That was both Wilson and Latham on that block, and then tying it up is Woolley. I mean, those are the plays that you need to make at the end of these games. 12 blocks in this one. Everyone has been critical and so important.
Latham, that was her 6th block. She now has a career high. That is a new career high. And playing with 4 fouls, too, to continue to step up and be able to deliver defensively without getting called for the foul. A lot of maturity there from the freshman that we heard Coach Jack talk about before this game.
Yeah, I love how she gloated about talking about Latham. But who else has stepped up today? Kennedy Perkins, the sophomore, just here in the 4th quarter, serving the offense, decides to take it herself, and then a nice finish inside. We talked about that she was put in the game to make sure Fair got her shots off the ball, but also she's taken advantage of scoring the basketball, and she's taken good shots. She hasn't forced anything. She's taken good shots within rhythm, within the offense of the Orange.
33 seconds to go. What play are you running at this point?
You run multiple options here. You run an option so you can get punch action into the post. You run an option so you can get Dyashia Fair the ball in a good situation. And then most importantly, you remember you have some time. You don't have to shoot it right away. You have time to work the offense to get exactly what you want. But most importantly, you got to take care of the basketball. Cannot turn it over here in these late moments.
This is what ACC Women's Hoops is all about. This one coming down to the last couple possessions, assuming it doesn't go to OT. Fans on their feet here at JMA Wireless Dome. 3-second differential. Fair gets caught up. Woolley gets it off. No. Batted out. There's Perkins. 4 to shoot. Fair gets fouled. .3 to go.
So much going on here. Cochran had the right idea in fouling because Louisville only has 2 fouls in this quarter, but it's called intentional. And that is tough. That's tough, guys. As a player, as someone obviously who has been in this game, that is a tough call because you know the situation that is happening right now. As a referee, as a player, you know the situation. Yeah, and I could see it with the tug, not maybe going after the basketball. She went more after the body. So she came across 2 hands. And then the shirt tug at the end. Oh. That's tough, but that's important to know that you got to go for the basketball when you're making these type of plays.
Fair sinks the first free throw. Shoots more than 81.5% from the free throw line. The chance to give the Orange the lead. Fair, nothing but nylon. The crowd erupts here in Syracuse, New York.
And they get the ball back, Highland. So now Louisville has to think about getting a steal or fouling right away.
Fair running away from the pressure. Buzzer expires. Oh my goodness, what a matchup in Syracuse, New York. It's the Orange